Bonjour tout le monde, hello everyone, this is vlog number 2 and this week we're travelling around France. So we're travelling around France over the last couple of weeks. We're just finishing off the first week in aix-en-provence today. Sorry, is that right? Aix-en-Provence?
Oui, aix-en-provence.
I think I said aix-en-provence. Anyway, so we're just in the middle of a 2-week trip around the whole of France, pretty much. And we're just finishing our first week in the south of France, where we've been to some amazing places. So we've been travelling generally around the area of aix-en-provence, which is where we are today. So it's just around near Marseille. We've been to some beautiful beaches. We've seen some beautiful picturesque coasts, which you'll be able to find some photos of on my Instagram, so definitely go check that out. So yeah, just kind of traveling around and enjoying the sun. And then for the rest of the week we're going to be going back to the city of Dijon, which is where Pauline is from. Isn't that right?
Shall we go this way?
So yeah, next week we're going back to Dijon, which is the city where Pauline is from. Isn't that right?
Oui, Dijon.
You know, famous for the mustard, and of course some beautiful wines, which I'm sure we'll be sampling a lot of, which we have already. Pauline's seen something in the window. What are you looking at? The sales. But for now, I'm pretty hungry, so I think we're going to go and find somewhere to get something to eat,
and then to eat.
To drink, and then to eat. And also, so last week I talked to you a little bit about branding, but this week I'm going to talk to you a bit how once you've got your branding down, how you can then start to develop your marketing strategy and start taking it to the next step. So if you're interested in learning a little bit about marketing strategy, then listen to this next bit. Okay, we just had some beautiful food. C'était très très bon. So now we're gonna go and get some ice cream, just because this weather is amazing. And then I'm gonna find somewhere to stop and talk to you about marketing strategy. Welcome back, guys. So yeah, I've found a nice place for us to sit and chill, and for me to talk to you a little bit about marketing strategy. So last week, in my last vlog, I talked a little bit about branding. So if you haven't watched that already, then do go back to my channel and check that out, and that'll give you a bit of context for what I'm talking about here. So first things first, so if you finish your branding, you've done everything, you've kind of worked out your target audience and everything, then the next thing to do is start thinking about your marketing strategy. Okay, so if you've gone through all of the steps of the branding exercise that I talked about in my last vlog, then you should have a really good idea at this point about your target audience. So depending on who your target audience is, depends on how you're going to reach them, and therefore what steps you're going to take in your marketing strategy. When we talk about marketing strategy, we talk a lot about channels. Now when we talk about channels, we're really talking about the different platforms that we can communicate to our target audiences. For example, you know, for some people's target audiences, they might not listen to radio shows, and therefore you're not going to be doing any paid advertising on radio programs. But you know, for some others it might be that they're more kind of avid radio listeners. This is all going to come down to the research that I told you about having to do in the branding steps on your target audience. If you've got some solid research on your audience, then you're going to know their behaviors, and therefore what kind of, whether they read magazines or whether they watch TV more, and then therefore how you can try and reach them. Once you have all that, then spreadsheets then really are your friend. You know, just do a little bit of looking around online, for you can probably find some free templates, but basically what you're looking to do is on the left hand side in the first column, let's have a list of all of your channels, and this can be everything from, like, you know, social media, and then breaking down into the different social media channels. You know, different target audiences will also use different types of social media. And this will also include, you know, PR, which is public relations, even your website content. You might have a different channel for that. E-newsletter content, again, television, radio advertising. Advertising can be a whole different section as well. So, you know, I could go on and on, but, you know, as the videos go on, I'm going to go into a lot more detail on all these different types of things. So that's your column down the left hand side, and then along the top you're just going to have a date range starting from the current day probably up to about a whole year really. So you're going to be looking to plan out all of your content for all those different types of channels for the next year. So that's it in a nutshell with a marketing and content strategy. I can go into loads more detail, and I will be in future videos. So make sure, if you haven't already, to hit the subscribe button. I'm off to the beach now, and I'm going to stop recording now because, you know, you don't want to see me in my swimwear. I'm trying to get subscribers, not lose them. Thanks again. Remember to subscribe. Check out my website for more details, and if you're a company in Bristol and you'd like to know more, then also get in touch and I'd love to stop and have a chat with you. Thanks.